Greetings, all watchers of the recording. This is Voltgloss continuing and hopefully completing my Charlie Kane versus Edge of the Earth playthrough of the Mythos Busters campaign play-along. We're driving into the Heart of Madness today, the final scenario, which has two parts, with the plan of completing both parts today and therefore completing the campaign. Let's get into upgrades, but first let's talk about rules for a little bit. Because I was correctly informed that one of the card interactions I've talked about in some of the previous sessions does not work the way that I thought it did. Thankfully, it's an interaction that has not actually come up in my recorded play sessions, but I thought it was worthwhile to talk it through now. And specifically, I'm talking here about protecting the Anirnic. As a reminder, I've got 2 copies of this. Event, 1 cost. Fast, play after an ally asset at your location is discarded by a card effect or is defeated. Either return that asset to its owner's hand or draw 3 cards. And I had said that this would combo with things like Stray Cat, for example, and Mysterious Raven, and the cat summoned by Miss Doyle, who discard themselves as part of doing a thing. In Stray Cat's case, discarding to automatically evade an enemy. This is incorrect. The reason is, here, Stray Cat, as an example, but again, Raven and the Miss Doyle cats work the same way. Discard Stray Cat is before that colon. That means the text Discard Stray Cat is a cost of this ability, and costs are not effects. And Protecting the Anirnic is specifically talking about discarded by a card effect or defeat. Discard by a card effect would be something like, say, Tekeli Lee, discard an asset you control. This is a Tekeli Lee that's come out of my deck. So if I discard Stray Cat, I can't use proc its evade. I can't Protecting the Anirnic. But if I draw a Tekeli Lee that makes me discard an asset I control, or a Crypt Chill, or just an attack defeats the Stray Cat, or any other ally, then I can play Protecting the Anirnic to either bring it back to my hand, or, at least for this deck, more likely, draw 3 cards. I do want to flag a real oddity of templating, which is Anu for Edge of the Earth. Anu, as you can see, has Exhaust Anu before the colon. And then choose 1 or discard Anu to choose up to 3. And then you can do all these things. Would exhausting and then discarding Anu be able to proc Protecting the Anirnic? I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to grim rule it that no, it wouldn't. I frankly highly doubt this is going to come up, but I mean, there it is. And I say I don't think so. I think this is just a strange templating thing, because the Miss Doyle cats do specifically have Hope as an example. Hope is ready, exhaust or discard him, evade. Attempt to evade, do this. If you discarded Hope, then all this other stuff. And the other 2 Miss Doyle cats work the same way. I am fairly sure Anu is intended to work like the Miss Doyle cats, and is just weirdly templated, maybe just to save space on the card. I mean, it's already got quite a lot of text on it. If there is actually a Trixie rules interaction here where, because the word discard comes after the colon, Protecting the Anirnic does work on Anu, I don't know. I leave that to, like, I leave that to those who are better at parsing the minutiae of these rules than I. I do my best. There are others who do it better. Regardless, I wanted to talk that through. I did check, and as far as I can tell, this interaction has not come up at all. I had not used Protecting the Anirnic when discarding a Stray Cat, or a Raven, or a Miss Doyle cat. Let's put all these cards back into my deck. All right, now let's talk about upgrades. We finished the last scenario with 11 victory points to spend, or technically 10 plus 1 from the interlude. And I spent 6 on 2 copies of Charisma, so that now Charlie Kane can have a whopping 6 allies in play. And my other 5 I've spent on a 2nd copy of Michael Lee. And I've taken out one of Charlie's 2 machetes. At this point in the campaign, the usefulness of the machete has greatly fallen off. The fact that it only gives extra damage if you're fighting just the only enemy engaged with you. At this point, most of the large enemies I just want to evade and move on from. And while I will be wanting likely to do some fights and damage in the second part of this scenario against the mist pylons are never engaged with you, so the extra damage from machete would never proc in any event. So we're dropping a machete. We're going to shuffle in Michael Lee. Let's talk about Jack of all trades. As a refresher for the Mythos Busters campaign play along, we've had these cool tasks available to us to take on, and now with Heart of Madness is when they finally become effective if you have completed the necessary task. As a reminder, this task was during a scenario, if you play an asset whose color does not match any classes among non-permanent cards you then control, you put a provision on it, get 4 provisions on it, you get to mark 1 progress in your campaign log. It has been revealed now that to complete the task requires a progress of 5. I have a progress of 7. I managed to make progress on this task in all 3 Ice and Deaths, in the Forbidden Peaks, in the City of Elder Things, in my 1 Journey of Fatal Mirage, and in the last interlude before City of the Elder Things, where there was a bonus 1 progress available if over the course of the whole campaign you managed to visit 8 of the 9 partners alive or dead. So I've over-succeeded the required 5 by 2. That means 2 things. 1, I get to play with the completed side face-up, which now I can take an extra action during my turn, can only be used to play a multi-class card. That's this extra little token here for tracking that. I've used Neutral Parlay for lack of a better option. But essentially, this means that all my multi-class cards, they now don't take an action to play. So, Michael Lee, Janae Beauregard, medical student, only level 0, but I've kept both of them in the deck, partly with an eye towards this, making them essentially fast. Not exactly, right? They does take an action to play, so it would provoke a text of opportunity. And if I tried to play 2 multi-class cards in 1 turn, they're not, I'm only getting the extra action once, but still quite handy, especially for solo play, where every action counts. It doesn't help with protecting the Anirnik, of course, because that is already fast. There's 1 last multi-class card that I anticipate putting into my deck for the second part of this scenario, partly because I'll be able to play it using that extra action. So let's put that over here. Now, let's take a look at the campaign log and our setup going into this scenario. Scenario 4, the Heart of Madness. First, the status checks. If Dr. Amy Kensler is alive, she is. She is resolute, in fact. So, we suffer no ill effects. If we scouted the Forked Passage, no, we did not, because Roald Ellsworth died in the last scenario. So, we don't get that bonus, we just suffer no ill effects. If Danforth is alive, he is. So we suffer no ill effects there. If Miasmic Crystal is listed under Supplies Recovered, and it is, indeed, it is in my deck as we speak, so once again, we suffer no ill effects. That means we're going into this final scenario with no Frost tokens in the bag, which I'm very happy about. Especially since, well, the cultists are going to do their best impression of a Frost token. Since with our tokens here, quick recap, skulls are -1, -3 if there's an Ancient One enemy at the location. That'll be relevant in part 2. Cultists are -1 if there's a seal at my location or I'm at a mist pylon, treat as a Frost instead. That is going to be most of the time, as soon as I get my grubby hands on a seal. Tablets -3, if you fail, you draw a Tekeli Lee. Not shuffle into your deck, you just draw the top card, get hit with it, and then it goes back to the bottom of the Tekeli Lee deck. And the Elder Thing is -4. If you fail by 3 or more, you put a Doom on the agenda, can cause the agenda to advance. We've got 2 squids, Elder Things, 1 tablet, 2 skulls, 2 cultists. All right, so we're going into Heart of Madness. We are going to play both parts. Going to stay here, study the door, try to gather sigils. I don't think there's any other setup that needs to be done. We're going to make this. There's a handy dandy helper. We'll come back to that interlude once we come back to that interlude. Okay, so drawing our opening hand. Now, We talked to Takata in the last interlude, so we start with 3 extra resources. That's why we have 8. We have 1 physical and no mental trauma. We had 1 of each, thanks to In the Thick of It, over most of the campaign. But in City of the Elder Things, we got the bonus that cures 1 trauma. I cured the mental trauma. We also talked to Danforth in the interlude, which lets you start this scenario with 2 extra cards. So I'm coming in with 7 cards. But because my Jack of all trades progress was 7, and the minimum cutoff was 5, for having over-succeeded by 2, I get to draw an additional 2 cards, or take an additional 2 resources, or 1 and 1. Since I have Takata with me for resources, I am using that to draw another 2 cards, as of these 4 are here for, to remind me that for this scenario, we're going to start with a hand of 9 cards. So let's delete these. Let's shuffle our deck. Let's see what we get. All right, let's put the weaknesses back. What have we got? Okay. Leo DeLuca is great to see at the beginning. Ellsworth's Boots. This could save us a lot of move actions. This just got added to the deck since Ellsworth died in the City of the Elder Things. As a reminder, after the last clue is discovered from your location, exhaust the boots, move to a connecting location, or discard them and move to any revealed location. I'm very happy to see that. What else? We've got the Guard Dog and the Mysterious Raven. I have better allies in the deck, but since Charlie needs runs on allies, I'll probably keep them. I'm not going to keep the Machete. I'm not going to keep the Protecting the Anirnic. That's something I would want later in the scenario. Gang Up is less important here. Yes, there are some chunky 6 health enemies that this can bring down a single hit, but I'm perfectly fine just evading them and moving on. Let me just check. Yeah. Which is why I'm going to keep Blur, which is also a multi-class card. That was I knew there was another one. I'll be able to play this without spending an action. So that'll help me get set up that much faster. I think I'm going to toss the Gang Up back. I would rather find some more of my premium allies. Scrying Mirror. Do I hang on to the Scrying Mirror? It is very handy. I like to use the Scrying Mirror if I'm facing a potentially problematic treachery at the beginning of a turn, so that I don't overcommit my resources to it. So do I keep these 6 and draw 3 more to fill up my set of 9? I think yes. Michael Lee, excellent to see. Economy, another card draw, and close the circle. Excellent. All right, good. I'm happy with this. Okay. Let's click the handy dandy Heart of Madness helper. We started the Gate of Iqua, 1 shroud, 1 clue. I can spend an action to place activated seals here. I can spend an action to resign. That's amazing that it just does that. Fantastic. We've got our 5 spokes, our 3 rings. Let's shuffle our Decay Lilies. There's a deck of 11. 5 are in my deck. Shuffle our encounter deck. Let's move this extra Charlie. And let's look at our agenda and act. Agenda 1, the Beating Heart. Doom track of 5. Forced, if 2 or more activated seals are controlled by me at the same location, they fuse together and all life on Earth is destroyed. Resolution 3. We're going to try to avoid that. Essentially, this means you can carry multiple seals, but only one can be activated at a time. I have to bring the activated seals to the Gate of Iqua to place them here, and then I can go get another one. And as soon as I have placed my first activated seal on the gate, I advance the act. All right, let's get started. And we're going to get started. Let's see, what do I want to play first? And I'm going to do a lot of setup to begin with. That is the Charlie Kane way. We're going to spend 5 resources to put down Leo DeLuca. That extra action, always still excellent to have. Do I emergency cash? I want to play Michael Lee. My only hesitation in doing so is just in case I draw into paranoia, I'll be very sad. Use a technical term. So maybe I play something like Ellsworth's Boots first. Honestly, maybe I play Blur. Let's see. No, we'll play... Right, because if we play Ellsworth's Boots, then have one, I can play Emergency Cash. Play Michael. Yes. Okay. We're going to play Ellsworth's Boots. Accessory slot. Sure, why not? I'm going to play Emergency Cash. It's level 2, so I get 3 resources. I draw a card. The machete came right back. That's fine. Now I'm going to use my extra action for a multi-class card to play Michael Lee. I now have 2 Book and Fist. I am going to investigate. We're at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against Shroud 1, 8 on 1, -2 is a pass. We get this clue. We put an evidence of Michael Lee. We use Ellsworth's Boots to move to the next location. Vaulted Corridor, 3 Shroud, 1 clue. As a lightning bolt, choose another Vaulted Corridor, test Agility X to warp from one to the other without spending an action. If you pass, limit once per round. I'm going to put a marker on this. I like to use the offering token so that I can more easily see at a glance which locations are vaulted corridors. There are 3 total on the map. Quick strategy note, clue gathering. For this scenario, you spend clues to get seals. You have to spend 1 clue to get a seal. And you spend clues to activate a seal. Again, 1 clue to activate a seal. There's a total of 13 clues available on the map. To get everything, I'll need to gather 10 of those 13. And that's our first turn. There are no enemies. We upkeep into Claypool's Furs. Claypool's Furs, once I start carting around seals, the cultists are going to be frost tokens. I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm missing a rule interaction, but I believe treat this cultist token as a frost token instead does mean once I have Claypool's Furs in play, I can use them to cancel it, return to the bag, and reveal a new token. I think that's how that works. What I know works is we put 1 Doom on the Doom track and we draw Primeval Terror. Just willpower 2 + 1 for each location away from the gate. Fail, take 2 horror. So I'm testing willpower 1 against 3. Okay, I don't have much in the way of exhausts I could do right now. I could... Michael Lee gives +2, Leo gives +1, Takata gives +1, but I'm almost certainly going to be using her to get resources. So I'm debating whether it's worth it to get up to 4 against 3. Problem is, if I pull an Elder Thing, now Doom has landed on the agenda. Do I have a willpower that I'd be willing to commit? I mean, Claypool's Furs is really the only option. Do I think I take this on the chin. I think it's more important to keep my commits to be able to pick up a clue and keep my tempo moving. We're just going to test this raw 1 against 3. Let's go. -1. We fail. We take 2 horror. That's fine. Okay. What do we want to get in play this turn? Because again, we'll want to get this clue. That'll be an action. Ellsworth's Boots will move us to the next location. Well, we're definitely going to use Takata for some resources, so let's do that first. Since she is resolute, I move 3 resources off of her, and I get an extra. So when I use Takata's ability, I get 4 resources. I am definitely playing Blur, since it uses my special multi-class action. So let's do that. Let's think about Close the Circle. Right now, I have blue, yellow, green, and purple in play, which tells me I should play the Mysterious Raven, because then I'll be able to plunk down Close the Circle and get my max 5 charges on it. And I do indeed have exactly enough resources to do that. So I could play the Raven, I play Close the Circle, I investigate move with the boots, and I could use close the circle once I get there to potentially investigate again. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to play the Mysterious Raven. We're going to play close the circle. 5 charges. Whatever, they're not very neat on the card, and that's fine. And we're going to investigate. Shroud 3. So we're at 2, 4. 7 on 3. 7 on 3. Good. Elder Things -4. We pass exactly. So we get this clue. We add another evidence of Michael Lee. And we use Ellsworth's boots to move to the next location. This is the place to activate the alpha-looking seal. So I'm going to mark this with a resource so I can visually see I need to come back here. I will want to get the clue so that I have clues available. I like for this scenario, unless enemies compel something different, to move all the way to the outer ring, circle the outer ring, and then work back in. If I find a seal and gets activated before then I'll abort and come back to the center to place it. But I prefer to get the outer ring locations out of the way first, so that if later on I draw the enemies that spawn on the outer ring, they're less of an immediate issue. All right. Now the question is, do I use close the circle to investigate here? With Leo, I'll be testing 4 and 3. That is not worth it. I'm going to save this to use later on. So we'll end the turn. No enemies. We upkeep into a stray cat. Mythos, 2 out of 5. Roots of the Earth, the damage version of the one that we just did. So I'm 2 away from the gate. This is agility 4. If I fail, take 2 damage. This would be why it'd be nice to have stray cat on the board, so maybe I will play it this round. Do I throw at this? Once again, I feel like I just eat this, since I'd have to really use everything for that tempo hit. I'm just going to test this raw. 1 against 4. That hurts. So that unfortunately adds a doom. It is what it is, and I take 2 damage. Whatever. We had a very good start in terms of getting our cards on the board, so I'm not super chuffed about that. But I do need to keep getting cards on the board that I can exhaust to boost my stats. So with that in mind, we're going to play the stray cat. We are going to use Takata to get 4 more resources. We are going to play the guard dog. Or are we going to play the scrying mirror? No, we'll play the guard dog first. We are going to investigate. So we're at 2 against 3, 4, 6, 7 on 3. Here's a pass. We get this clue. Michael Lee's now at his max 3 evidence. We use Ellsworth's boots to move on out to this location. 3 shroud, 1 clue. We got to bring the trident-looking seal here to activate it. And now I am going to... I use close the circle to pick up this next clue. I think I do, since I have the commits. Yes, that means I'm not using Ellsworth's boots on this location this round, but next round, I should be able to do so. Or do I save this for where it's more important? No, I want to use the commits now while they're available. By commits, I mean the exhausts to boost Charlie's stats. So we are going to use close this circle, spend a charge. We're going to investigate. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 against 3. Tablet is -3. We pass exactly. We get this clue. Okay. There are no enemies. We upkeep into the spare parts. That'll be some additional drip economy, or just a triple willpower commit. 4 out of 5 Doom. Miasmatic Torment. The COD is turned off until I test this off with a Book or Brain 3 test. Okay. All right. We are going to first move. We'll move over here. Ah, the Trident Seal. So I can get this, bring it back here to activate it, and then bring it back to the center. And maybe what I do, instead of bringing it back to the center through these locations, maybe we circle over here and bring it back through these locations, so that at the very least they are mapped. This one, you don't do a test, you have to spend resources, and here you have to discard cards. So 3 resources and a clue, 2 cards and a clue. And I do want to do that. So maybe we play the spare parts, use it for the extra 1, get the seal. I won't be able to leverage Ellsworth's boots, but I could close the circle to go back and then test off the Miasmatic Torment. Then next round, discard 2 cards, which will probably be the Machete and either whatever I draw, or maybe the Furs. Yeah. So, we're going to play the spare parts. We're going to use it to get 1 resource. We're going to spend an action, a clue, and 3 resources to get this seal. Now the cultists are Frosts. And we're going to close the circle to go back. We'll activate it next round. This round, we're going to test off the Miasmatic Torment. We'll do Book, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9 on 3. There's a pass. This goes away. Okay. No enemies. We upkeep. A med student. Yeah, I will probably play her, since it's not taking a regular action. And I'll discard the Machete and probably the Furs. Or do I just discard the Scrying Mirror? I'll decide. I'll decide in a moment. Because first, the agenda ticks over. All right, Unknowable End. We have to read the final straw. Interlude. Someone might die. So, we've got to randomly select an expedition member who is not resolute. Takada's resolute. Kenzler's resolute. The only other 3 alive are Cookie, Dr. Sinha, and Danforth. Who is the lucky loser? Dr. Sinha. Does she die? The answer is no. If the victim is Mala Sinha, she does not die because Danforth is still alive. I do like this text. I'm going to read it. A world without death, Dr. Sinha remarks, staring into the mirage. A world without pain, without suffering. She takes a step forward, a tendril of miasma in the shape of a hand reaching out for her. The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague, Danforth recites cryptically. Who shall say where the one ends and where the other begins? Mala snaps out of her trance only to glare at the young man. Oh, again. He nods in response. There is wisdom in the certainty of death. Maybe, she admits, turning away from the vision. Maybe. The entity retreats, its ruse foiled. Mala Sinha remains alive. Okay. Agenda 2, the miasma is still beckoning, same text as before, doom track of 6. We draw now an enemy. Forgotten Shoggoth. Fight 3, health 6, evade 2. This is why we've got Blur. Now, it does, since it engages me, I have to draw to my playmat a Tekalili. Take a damage. Sure. Then it goes back to the Tekalili deck. Okay. So we have Blur, so we can evade and get our action back. And then we can activate this by discarding 2 cards. And then we can work our way back to the center. 1. We actually could place it. So if we get the action back, then we still have 4 actions. Activate it. Move, close the circle, move, activate it. But better, I think, to do what I was saying before, come over here and get back to the center through some new locations. So, first step, we're going to evade using Blur. We are testing, we'll use agility. We get +1, so we're testing 2 against 2. So let's make that 4 against 2. 5 on 2. Yeah, I'm not going to use her this turn. 6 on 2. That seems fine. -4 is an exact pass. Now, because it's an exact pass, I do take a damage. That's getting a little spooky, but we're going to play a med student. So we take a damage. We're at 1 away. This guy is exhausted. We're going to use the spare parts to get a resource. We're going to use the special action to play med student and heal a damage and a horror. Now we're going to spend an action, a clue, and discard 2 cards. Machete. Maybe I do discard the scrying mirror. It does mean I'm not getting the extra. It's the extra victory point, right? And it would be useful. On the other hand, I've taken a lot of damage, and Claypool's Furs will soak damage, even if I don't need it for blocking curse tokens. I'm going to dump the Scrying Mirror. There is another in the deck. Extra VP is gravy right now. I can do without it, and I do feel like this, which will be fast, won't take an action. So I could play it next round with 1 here, and then the last one from the spare parts will be worth it. But in any event, the Trident Look and Seal now is activated. Okay. Now we're going to move. I'm going to move over here. 4 Shroud, 1 Clue. This is the place to activate this seal. So again, I'm going to mark it as a place I'll need to come back. But I am going to try to get this clue so I can Ellsworth's Boots it. So we are testing, let's see, it's Shroud 4. So we're at 2, 3, no, 2, 4, 7. Sure. Let's do 9 against 4. That's a pass. We get this clue. We use Ellsworth's Boots. We'll walk over here. Oh, and here's the seal that goes here. So we'll be able to come back for that. And I think I am going to use Close the Circle as an extra move. Get over here. Oh, and here's the Alpha Seal. So this seal goes here, and this seal goes here. Okay. The one thing I will need is more clues, because I only have 3 clues, and each picking up a seal takes a clue, activating it takes a clue. So I am going to need to open up some more locations, get at least 1 more clue before I can cash these in. And indeed, maybe what we do next turn is pick this up, move here, place the active one, head over here and then swing our way back over to this. I do have to be mindful doing that of this Forgotten Shoggoth, which is going to hunt. All right. No active enemies. We upkeep. Parallel Fates. I should try to find time to play that. Shoggoth readies. And we are now at 1 of 6 Doom. Protoplasmic Mass. This is the one that spawns in the outer ring. So this 6 fight, health 4, evade 3 enemy. Hunter, but prey, nearest investigator with a seal only. Force when the enemy phase ends. If an investigator controls an activated seal, it resolves the enemy phase again. What all this means, when I don't have a seal, this thing does not hunt me, because it has a prey-only instruction. Indeed, it won't even engage me if I'm in its location. When I have a seal, it will hunt normally. When I have an activated seal, it will hunt twice. I think technically, if during the hunt twice, if it moved in and attacked, it would not attack a second time because it'll have exhausted after the first one. The goal is to prevent this from ever being relevant. So it happens on the outer ring farthest from me. That means I have to put it either here or here. Since I'm talking about going down this direction, I should probably... Actually, no, I shouldn't go that direction. I have to get the seal first, right? What am I talking about? This seal goes here. One, two, maybe pick them both up. 3, 4. Circle it around. We're going to put it... We're going to put it here. Okay. All right. No, wait a minute. No, that's right. I can pick this seal up now. That's why I was talking about going this way. No, we're going to put it here. Forgot what I was doing. What I am doing first... What I'm doing first is using the spare parts, get a resource, and spend the 2 resources to play Claypool's Furs, since they're fast. Now, I'm going to spend an action to get this seal. Willpower 2, so 3. We have 4. Yeah, that's fine. 5, 6 against 2. Here is a pass. We spend a clue. We get this seal. Okay. We move to the center. We spend another action to place this activated seal. I'm going to put the activated seals in the victory display. Now that I've done that, the act advances. Now I get a bonus based on the seal placed. So it was the trident looking seal, so I gain 3 resources. I forgot that was going to happen. Okay. Good. Now, the act will advance if I get all 5 seals. Let's see if that can happen. I'll tell you what's happening first. We are going to move there, and we're going to use close the circle to do it. Another vaulted corridor. It's always a little annoying when they're right next to each other. So, I mean, But this is a clue that I can get, and then Ellsworth's boots. So we're going to investigate. We're 2, 4, 6, 9 against 3. Tablets -3. That is still a pass. I get this clue. I use Ellsworth's boots to scoot over here. They're all right next to each other. What you going to do? What I'm going to do is get that clue next round. Okay, so enemies. Since I have a seal, but it's not active, this guy hunts, this guy hunts. I'm putting them together so that I only need to keep away from one location, at least while I'm only holding inactive seals. If I get an activated one, then again, this guy will outpace this one. But again, the goal is to just play Ring Around the Rosie and keep away from these. Let's upkeep. Second Parallel Fates. I really should... This is useful if I've run out of useful actions, like I've exhausted everything. I mean, I have a pretty full board state. There are still cards I could productively play. Anyu would be excellent. Bonnie Walsh, always excellent. Janae Beauregard would be helpful. But once, if I have reached the point where I can't productively move on or test, I'm at a location I don't want to leave yet, that's the time to play Parallel Fates and try to set up my next turns. 2 of 6 do. We get Roots of the Earth. We really are... So, damage, huh? So, this is one I would like to successfully pass. So, it's Agility 4 is the test. We're at 1, 3, 4... What is this test? Willpower. Hmm. Three on 4. I'm thinking about sacrificing the Raven to get the clue, so I don't have to test for it. Let's think this through. If I clue here, move with the boots, then 1 action to activate, 2, 3, 4 to place. The fact that that then would not take an action is pretty good, because then that means I can get it and place it, and then honestly maybe start moving back this way. So then these guys can swing around the outer ring, heading this way. Or even move in. Maybe I have them move in. The point being, if I'm going to sacrifice the Raven, then I can exhaust it now to help with this test. So what am I at? I'm at 1, 3, 4, 5 against 4. 1 more. Let's do guard dog. 6 on 4. Six on 4. Elder Sign. So that's a +3. So we pass, and I get to ready an ally. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? I don't know that it matters. We'll just do Takata, just in case I need the resources. But anyway, we passed that test. All right. Willpower 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, okay. We're going to sacrifice the Raven. We'll take a horror. We will get this clue. Then we will use Ellsworth's boots to scoot over here. All right, good. Now we're going to test to activate this seal. We are testing willpower 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 on 3. Yeah, that's fine. -1 is a pass. We spend a clue. We activate this seal. We activate this seal. There we go. And we get some kind of bonus. Look at the revealed side of each unrevealed location in the same spoke. We've already been to them all. That's fine. This one, remove a frost. I have no frost to remove. That's also fine. Okay. I mean, we're going to move twice. We get down here. We're going to place the seal. And we are going to close the circle, last charge, to scoot. I think I'm going to scoot here. because I want to get this seal and activate it. Yeah. Okay, fine. Enemies. Now, since I don't have a seal, the protoplastic mass actually stays put. This guy hunts. And I'm gonna have him move in. Because let's see. Move, grab, move, activate. No, I don't want to activate it next round. Move, grab, move, do a thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. That might be a turn for Parallel Fates. That's fine. All right, we upkeep. Kaylee, take a damage. The damage is stacking up. We're gonna put 1 on Michael Lee. Mythos, 3 of 6. My constituents. Number 1, at least it's not in the center, because that's just awful. Number 2, this tells me that when I leave, I don't want to come back through here to get to the center. I am going to want to activate this and, like, swing around. All right. So, action tax. So I got to spend 2 actions to move. We'll go here. We will pick up this seal. Try to, at least. Combat 2. So we're at 2 fist, 4. It doesn't really matter. 7 against 2. 0's a pass. We spend a clue. We get this seal. Last action, we move over here. Okay. That's fine. All right, enemies. Now this guy wakes back up. He's going to swing around over here. This one needs to come to the outer ring and also swing left. So he's going to... I'll have him move back out. What we'll do? Okay. Like a tactical RPG. Upkeep. Dire Sketches. That's good. I would like some cards. Mythos, 4 out of 6 Doom. Blasphemous Visions. We shuffle it to Kaylee Lee into my deck. And if I draw it to Kaylee Lee, it hits twice. Okay. Well, maybe we don't play Dire Sketches until we've solved this particular conundrum. So let's think. 4 actions. Activate, move. 3, 4. I can probably find a clue somewhere along the way. That would let me get to the center. This guy would then hunt twice down to here, which is probably okay. Well, let's see. First, we're going to do this Fist 3 test. So we're at 2, 4, 5. Actually, let's just do 4, 5, 6, 7 against 3. 0's a pass. We spend a clue and we activate this seal. Good. Remove a frost. Well, there's none to remove. Now we're going to move down to here. The Subnautical Sprawl. 2 shroud, 2 clues. Frosts, i.e. cultists, are -3. Limit once per round. This is actually less ideal for grabbing clues. Since if I grab them both, well, if I grab them both, I could Ellsworth's Boots to here. Then this guy who will hunt twice will move like to here, which is fine. This guy would come either in or over. Maybe I have him go in since I've already covered these locations. How many more clues do I need? 4 is the answer. But the thing is, stopping to get clues here is less effective than picking them up one at a time, given the boots. On the other hand, if both of these locations have seals, then they're not going to have clues. I'm not going to be able to pick them both up. On the other hand, I should try to get rid of the blasphemous visions. I'm going to move again. Let's move here. Okay, this does have one of the seals. Agility 2 to get. So I could pick that up next time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. Okay, so we are going to test off the blasphemous visions. Willpower 3, so I'm at 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 on 3. Ah, we fail. But at least we don't add a doom. That's unfortunate. I really want to use this. Maybe what I should have done was Parallel Fates, actually. That's what I should have done. Oh well. Is what it is. I just don't want to draw into a whole bunch of Decaleles. Alright, whatever. Enemies. This guy moves twice. We'll put him here. This guy moves once. We will put him here. We upkeep into a stray cat. Mythos, 5 out of 6. Ah, all right. It's unspeakable. So I do draw it to Decalele, and it will hit me twice. Take a horror, and then take a horror. All right, we took 2 horror, and this shuffles in. This discards. Okay. Seal, move. All right. Let's try to get this seal. Agility 2. 1, 3. Do I play this stray cat first? I play the cat, get the seal. Move, move. No, I want to be able to place it. No, we can do this. Right. Agility 2 to get this seal. 1, 3, 4. Five, 6. Yeah, that's fine. 6 on 2. -1 is a pass. We spend that clue, we get this seal. Okay. Now we move here. The place to activate the one seal we don't have. I did this already. Let's move this here. All right, so we'll have to come back here. Oof, shot 5. That's unfortunate. 3, 4, 5, 7. I'd be testing 7 against 5. That is not great. Do I throw dire sketches at the investigate test? Honestly, I think maybe I do. I think maybe I do. I need the tempo. Because now how many clues do I need? I still need 3. There's a seal in here. And the place to activate it is also in. Okay. All right. That's fine. We are going to investigate. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This might be a mistake, but I am going to commit dire sketches. 9 on 5. -3 is a pass. We get the clue. We use Ellsworth's boots to move to the center. We spend an action to place this activated seal. All right, that's 3. Okay, okay. Enemies. I still have a seal. This guy moves in here. This guy moves here. It's fine. I just got to be mindful. I have stray cats, which can evade when they move in before they hit me. Fine. We upkeep. That is unfortunate timing on the burden of leadership. All right, well, there's some I have to exhaust or they die. What am I doing this turn? Honestly, maybe a lot of moving. But I don't want to be defenseless. So we are going to put a damage and a horror on Leo DeLuca so that he's available. And I will put a damage and a horror on Michael Lee. The others exhaust. I'll also exhaust Takata. And Mythos. This advances. So now I take a hit based on what seals I have. That was part of the reason why I wanted to place the active seal that I had. Otherwise, that would have hit me twice. So which one do I have? This one. I lose an action this turn. All right. And now we have the final agenda, Doom Track of 6. Another Blasphemous Visions. The Tekeli Lees are just here to heck up my day. Oh, this, of course, goes in the discard. All right. 3 actions. Am I just moving 3 times to get away from these bozos? Maybe. Maybe. But we are going to move... Whoa, hold up. Technically difficult. All right, we're going to move here. More Subnautical Sprawl. I need at least one of those clues. We're going to move again, because we're going to come back through there. This seal. All right. And we're going to move again to this location, which is where I activate this seal, but more importantly has a clue that I can use. All right. Okay, enemies. We're going to have this guy move a ring out. We're going to have this one move out. And we're going to upkeep into Miss Doyle. Very good to see. All right, we're 1 of 6. Last agenda. Can we do this? Nightmarish Vapors. Lose 2 actions or shuffle 2 Tekeli Lees into my deck. That's a tough choice. With only 2 actions... No, I think I have to. I have to take it. because I need to activate the seal. I need to get this clue. Now, I could... If I get this clue, if I activate the seal, action 1, get the clue, action 2, move here with Ellsworth's boots. Pick up this seal, 3, move here, 4. Do I have enough clues? I would. Then this guy can move here, this guy can move here. And I would need just one more clue from here, move to the center, place the seal, and go to activate the last... Oh, activate the last one right there. The risk I'm running, of course, is the many, many Tekelelis. I think I need the actions. Otherwise, I will just get... Well, the other option is to wait here, lose 2 actions. No, because I don't want to activate the seal. Actually, it doesn't matter, because as I said before, it'll be exhausted, so it won't hit me twice. If I activate the seal and then don't do anything else, like either play Parallel Fates to try to set up my deck to protect me from Tekelelis, test off one of these, or play Miss Doyle, and honestly, maybe it's play Miss Doyle, then this guy can move out here. This one moves in and hits me, but only for 1 and 1. Which Miss Doyle could absorb. Then, next round, I could blur evade it, get my action back, get this clue, 1 action, Ellsworth's to here, get this seal, 2 actions, 3, get a clue, 4 actions. This then readies, but it doesn't get to hunt. This guy moves like here. I think that's the better play. I think spending, instead of taking the 2 Tekelelis, just take 2 actions, activate this seal, and play Miss Doyle is the better play. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to lose 2 actions. We're going to play Miss Doyle. We get one of the... What am I doing? We get the cat army. We're out of places to put them. I guess they go in my hand. Augur for investigating. The other 2 shuffle into my deck. And now I'm going to activate this seal. Agility 3. So we're at 1, 3, 5, 7, whatever. 8 against 3. -3 is a pass. We spend a clue. What am I doing? And we activate this seal. And then something happens, right? Oh, I deal 2 damage to each enemy in play. I don't think that's going to be relevant, but just in case. Okay. Brace for impact, boys. This one moves out here. This one moves in. It hits me for 1 and 1, which I'll put on Miss Doyle. Because then it exhausts after it attacks from the hunter phase. Right? Hang on. I'm just checking the rules. Hunter. Right. Enemy phase. After dealing the attack, the enemy exhausts. Right. Then... Right. So it does not hit me a second time, is the point, despite its special forced effect. Yeah. So we upkeep. Kaylee, joke's on you to Kaylee Lee. I don't have any clues to drop, even if it means that I would drop 3 clues. Bye. Mythos. 2 of 6. What do we got? Roots of the Earth. This is probably going to get soaked by the furs. Agility 2. But if I could get up to testing, what is it? When agility 5 is the test. In order to not get a doom from this, I'd have to get up to testing 7. I don't think it's worth it. I think this is a job for the furs. 1 against 5. Fails -1. We fail, and that's fine. We take 2 damage. I'll put that on the furs. All right. Now, there should be 1 fewer charge on Blur. I used it before, way back when this guy was first drawn. And I never moved the charge. My error. But now we're going to use Blur to evade this guy. We are testing 2 against 3. 5 on 3. We're going to commit this stray cat. 6 on... Hold on. Yeah, no, that's fine. 6 on 3, 7 on 3. Skull is a -1. We have passed by 3. This guy is evaded. I spend a charge. I get my action back. Now I'm going to investigate, and I'm going to use Augur, base 5. So with Michael Lee, I'm testing 6 on 4, 8 on 4 with Leo DeLuca exhaust. It's a frost. I am going to cancel it using Claypool's furs, so that goes away. So still 8 on 4, +1. I pass. I get this clue. I use Ellsworth's boots to move here. I'm going to test to get this clue. Book 2. So I'm testing 2 on 2. 5. 6 on 2. No, 7 on 2. Spells -1. We pass. We spend a clue. We get this seal. We move again. I'm thinking about... I think I'm going to play Parallel Fates. I don't have time or, frankly, the commits to get rid of these, but what I can do is try to set up my hand. 1, 3, 4, yes. Because next turn I can get a clue, move, place, yes. All right. We're finally going to play Parallel Fates. Search top 6. Yeah, see the Takeli Lee's coming up. Ooh. Second, close the circle. That's very good. So we'll put close the circle first. Frankly, we'll put gang up next, just in case I draw another big Shoggoth. The green, the hope, and then the green soapstone. And then I'll know Takeli Lee's are coming up. So I would need to... Actually... Yeah, what I could do, if I need to, I could reshuffle the deck before hitting the Takeli Lee's by discarding Augur, playing Hope, discarding Hope to accomplish an evade. So, okay, this is fine. And then I draw Close the Circle, because Parallel Fates draws you a card. Okay. Good. Alright, enemies. This guy's exhausted, so he does not move. This one will move to the over here to match my spoke. Upkeep. Okay, I get the gang up. Those. 3 out of 6. My constituents are back! That's fine. We've got Close the Circle. Because we can still Ellsworth's Boots, it'll just take an action. Oh, well, I don't need both clues. I need one clue. If I play Close the Circle, I investigate to get a clue. I move out. Yeah, that's fine. All right. We're going to spend 2 to play Close the Circle. We'll discard the empty one. We still have 5, right? We have green and purple, blue. No, green and purple, red, yellow, and blue. 5 charges, not that we're going to be using them all. But we're going to be using some of them. We investigate. And I am going to discard Augur to just automatically succeed, because why not? Come on. Do I get this clue? I'm going to use Close the Circle to move. I have to spend an extra action because of the penguin to get to the center. And then I'm going to place this seal. Okay. Enemies. Oh, this should have been readied. Oh, there go the lines. Don't know why that is. But these guys move. The seal I have is not active, so they only move once into here. Okay. We're almost there. We upkeep into Hope. There is indeed Mythos. 4 out of 6. Ancient Evils, 5 out of 6. Can I get the last one? It's right here, yeah? I've got the clue. Close the circle. Activate it, move back, place it. We're done. Just in case, we'll play Hope, since Hope is fast. Yeah, we're going to close the circle. Move in here. Book 3 to activate the seal. So we're testing 2, 5, 7, 8 on 3. 0's a pass. We spend a clue. We activate the seal. We move back. Whoa, not the whole location. We move back to the center. And we place the seal. That's all 5. Did not have the scrying mirror. Not that I ever really would have had a chance to play it. So we're going to leave this scenario with 5 victory points. And you know what? That's fine. All right. We got them all. So we advance the act. The final seal locks into place. With a hum, power flows through the facility. Small orbs embedded in the ceiling begin to light one by one. Realization dawns. This sanctuary is far more advanced than you could have ever imagined. Resolution 1. Massive door glowing and droning. We press onward for the sake of, not for the sake of our career, but for the sake of our sanity. We must know the truth even if it breaks us. So, there's no cards in the victory display. We did not get Ravenlord's Gambit this time. But we do get 1 experience for each seal. So we get 5 experience. Which we are going to spend momentarily. Okay. Checkpoint 3, the other side. We're going to plow right into it. Other side 2. So I have to set up for the next part. I keep the seals. The seals stay on the Gate of Iqua. Right. So let's set up for part 2. Yeah, that went pretty well. It's all a matter of the toolbox kit getting enough stuff out to be able to get around. Losing the 1 round early on with the Elder Thing pull was frustrating, but Ellsworth's Boots were MVP. Just giving me that many, I mean, it did what? Like 7 or 8 move actions over the course of this scenario, probably? Something like that. Almost as good as a Leo DeLuca. Okay, good. So I'm going to set this up. Did I draw an autofail at some point? I don't actually remember if I did. All right. Well, that's the end of part 1. We're going to roll right into part 2. So we're going to take all this. We're going to group these up. Put these back in the box. These all also go back in the box. We're going to leave the seals. We got all 5. All 5 active. Leave the Tekeli-Lees. 6 are in my deck. That's so comforting. We'll put this here. We'll place part 2. Okay. We're going to do the setup. Interesting. 4 pylons all in the outer ring. 1 towards the center. That's interesting. Okay. We reset Doom. We shuffle the encounter deck. Let's bring out things that we're going to need in part 2. Nope, that's the seals. I don't need those. Let's bring out things we're going to need. So the pile of the Nameless Madnesses, the stuff for the finale, so we can get them more quickly later. We'll decide where to put Charlie in a moment. I can't remember if I drew an autofail. I'll check the footage afterwards. And let's... Oh, these blasphemous visions also go away. Okay, so let's recharge Takata. And let's put all this... Let's take out the cats. And find Zeal. Okay, good. Now, let's group all this up. Whoa, that's not what I want. Put everything back in the deck. But let's do quickly my upgrades. I have 5 points, and I know what I want to spend them on. We're going to remove my other machete. It's not going to be helpful here. We're going to remove 1 scrying mirror. I'm going to leave the other. And we're going to remove 1 raven. I still need to keep 8 cards with animals in my deck for the contract that I took. One of the cards I'm going to take is level 1 on the trail, which has animals on it, dogs. The other 2 cards I'm going to spend 2 points on are 2 copies of Lesson Learned. Or, as those familiar with Crypt Drill know the card as, Victory Wine. Fast, play after you take damage from an enemy attack, discover 2 clues at your location. The mechanics of this next coming scenario offer plenty of options to play this. And maybe an option to use this to snatch up a clue, and particularly because it's a multi-class card, I can use my bonus Jack of all trades action to play it. If I had gotten the mirror, I would have taken a second one and removed the other raven. I did not. That's perfectly fine. Let's remove these. Let's shuffle these into the deck. My chunky 48 card deck. Let's see. I spent the experience. We did part 1. Setup. Dr. Kensler is still alive, and Dr. Kensler understands the true nature of the miasma. She does. We did all the Dr. Kensler visits. So we get to intro 2. I've not read this, so let's read it now. Dr. Kensler explains everything as she studies the ancient murals. The Elder Things were travelers, colonizers. They came to the Earth over 1 billion years ago. But they were not the first ones here. This place, all of this, it was ancient even then. But it is not an entity trapped within. I had been studying their physiology, attempting to discern how they could exist the way they do, without shape, without matter, without state. But I was going about it all wrong. One cannot study the biology of something inorganic. See, it is not a creature, not truly. It is more akin to an alternate dimension, another reality, superimposed on ours. A sentient microcosm of all, of all that is. Not composed of organic life, but a mockery of it. Not monsters we were slaying, figments of a false reality. The entity is not a living thing, it cannot be killed, only contained. The Elder Things facility held 5 pylons that used its essence to power their civilization. But after this long, I cannot imagine they still function, but perhaps. I know it must be done. I know how to stop it. You must find these pylons and destroy them. And she must be off. There's no time to spare. Dr. Kensler has a plan, cannot be chosen to accompany us. Sounds good. Dr. K has a plan. And she's not accompanying us. Our girl Takata is accompanying us. We proceed on to setup. Right. Gate of Aqua, unrevealed side, so we can't go in. Place is set up. I choose an ancient facility location nearest to the Gate of Aqua to begin at. So the mist pylons, you need to spend a clue to enter. All of the ancient facility locations will have a clue now. Some will have 2. So, I mean, feels like I take one close to this. If I can get a clue here, move in, and get started, that would be a good thing, EM. Okay, yeah, so we'll do this one. All right, we got our regular 5 resources, still the 1 damage. Let's look at our opening hand for the final scenario. We're back down to all 1s. What do we got? Leo DeLuca, Michael Lee, a mid student, the Scrying Mirror, and a Parallel Fates. I'm strongly tempted to just keep this. Because with Parallel Fates early, I'll be able to set up my next set of draws. I can play Leo, use Takata, play Michael Lee. Hopefully get a clue. 1, 2, 3. No, then I play Parallel Fates to set up my next draws. And the mirror will be helpful to have. And yeah, I'm going to keep this. Okay, here we go. What's our first location? A vaulted corridor, 3 shroud, 1 clue. You can warp amongst them with agility tests. Okay, good. Let's start. 5 resources, Leo DeLuca. Use Takata. Get 4 resources. Use my special action. Play Michael Lee. Book 2, Fist 2. We're going to play Parallel Fates. Search top 6. Renee Beauregard, an emergency cache. The Furs, Stray Cat. Possessed, protecting the Anirnic. All right, well, let's obviously put Possessed 6. We can do protecting Anirnic 5th. Next round, we'll have 1. We can use Takata to get 4, so then I can play Janae. Yeah, we'll leave Janae first, just so she gets into my hand. Then Emergency Cache, Stray Cat, the Furs, protecting the Inert, Possessed. That's good. And we draw Janae Beauregard. Do I investigate? Last action. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I sure do. We investigate. 2, 4, 7 against 3. Elder Sign. Good sign. Not that it really matters, but hey, we get the clue. We get the clue. We put an evidence of Michael Lee. Yeah. Oh, the seals. What exactly is the deal with the seals? Are they on my... Yes. So the seals, technically, I have them here, but they're all... Charlie's controlling them. The point is, as long as I have at least 1 seal, the cultists are Frosts. So I'm going to keep them down here. All right, good. That's first round. No enemies. We upkeep. We upkeep into E-Cache, as we knew. Mythos. We're at 1 of 3. Did I shuffle this? I sure did now. What do we get? Ancient Evils. The game is just gonna plow us forward. Next round it advances. That's fine. Okay. We're going to use Takata. Get 4 resources. We're going to use the special action to play Genet Beauregard. We now have Book 3 and Agility 2. We're going to move and spend a clue to get here. First, Miss Pylon. So, all the Miss Pylons, I am going to spawn a damage token near each one. And when I visit it, I'll move it onto the Miss Pylon's location. The goal, of course, here is to collapse all 5 Miss Pylons. They can be attacked as if they were an enemy. Fight value equal to its shroud, health equal to its clue value. And when I discover clues at a Miss Pylon, I can spend them to deal that much damage instead. This first one, 2 shroud, 3 clues. I do control the activated Trident Seal. I will place it here. Now every enemy gets -2 fight and evade when at a Miss Pylon. That is good. And I'm going to put this damage token here. I'm going to need to do 3 damage to this to collapse it. Okay. I have 2 more actions. I could e-cash and play the stray cat that is coming up. I could e-cash an attack. With Michael Lee, I can do 2 damage. I can investigate. I will need more clues. But from here, I will need to move through at least one more location where I can pick up clues. Or I could just try to collapse it now. But I'm not sure I have enough oomph. Because if I attack with Michael Lee, I can't use him to boost the attack. So I'd be testing 2, 3, 4. I don't think this Trident effect reduces... it's not technically an enemy. So it's not now fight 0. If I found the one that reduces Shroud, then it would be fight 0. But as it is, it's fight 2. So I would be swinging 4 on 2, which is not, as they say in the business, great. But what I will do, I think, is investigate. 3. Oh, do I use Genet to punt a clue? No, I don't think there's a real reason or benefit to do that. That's fine. But I am going to investigate. We're at 3, 5, 7 on 2. Skull is -1, so we get the clue. Michael Lee gets an evidence. And I'm going to spend the clue right away. Whoops. Why that happened. We're going to spend that clue to do 1 damage here. If next turn I can hit it with Michael Lee boosting my attack, that'll bring it down. And then I'm going to play Emergency Cash. Get 3 resources. Draw a card, which is Stray Cat. All right. There are no enemies on the board. We upkeep into Claypool's Furs. This advances. We spawn a Nameless Madness at our location, since we're at a Miss Pylon. The Truth of the Mirage. One moment. Sorry about that. The Truth of the Mirage does not elude us because Dr. Kensler is a plan. So I do not have to suddenly hit myself with every Tekeli Lee in my deck, which would be 6 Tekeli Lees. I'm very glad to not have to weather that in this final scenario. But now, every time a Doom would be placed, a copy of Nameless Madness spawns. So they essentially spread from where they're located. They spread towards me to be as close as possible to my location. So we do have to do that right now. Well, we start with one that's right here with us. Then we put one at an adjacent location, and I'll put it like in a direction that I'm not gonna be. So we'll put it over here. Okay. And then we draw our encounter card. An unsealed phantasm. That's an issue. Because that spawns right here. Engage with me. Now, because of the thing we placed, it is only fight 3 and evade 2. And the Nameless Madness here is fight 0 and evade 0. Which is good. But I'm not really fully kitted out. I can evade 4, 6 on 2. So if I evade this, I am strongly tempted to evade these things and move on and come back to this mist pylon to collapse it later. After I've placed them all, which will make it that much easier. Because then this, this guy will just sit there. He'll just stay at this mist pylon. And then I can deal with it at the tail end. Because then I can move on. Evade, evade. I mean, honestly, it might be evade, evade, move. Oh, but I don't have a clue. Well, I could get a clue here. Yeah, all right. Well, let's see if we can evade this. So we're testing 2 against 2. 4 on 2. 5, 6 against 2. And before I do that, I am going to play Claypool's first. 6 on 2. -2 is a pass. This guy's evaded. Now I'm going to evade the Nameless Phantasm. Because it's 0, I don't need to commit anything, exhaust anything. I'm testing 2 against 0 to evade it. That's a frost. I am going to cancel it. That's another frost. I am going to cancel it. I don't want to biff this. That's a 0. We pass. Good thing I canceled at least the first one. Oop, there go all the lines. Don't know why that happens. It happens when rotating something on the map. I guess it's touching a line. Well, we know how this is set up. I did pass by 2, so I evade not just this one, but also this one. Not that that's truly relevant, I don't think. I'm going to use my special action to play this med student. I'm going to move first. We're going to move here. We're going to come back to this location. Okay, there's one clue here. 3 shroud, 1 clue. So, investigating in 6. Yes, I am going to use my special action to play the med student. Yes, I'll only heal a damage. But this way I have another exhaust. I am going to investigate here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 3. Skull is a -1. It's -3 when with the Nameless Madness. So I pass. I get this clue. put another evidence on Michael Lee. All right. Enemies. They're all exhausted. We upkeep. We upkeep into protecting the Anernic. That's fine. Mythos. Okay, so all these guys ready. This Phantasm is just going to hang out here because this Mist Pylon is not shattered. But we do now get a Nameless Madness with us. So we'll need to deal with that. And here, it's not Agility 0. It is Agility Evade. It is Evade 1. So we'll need to pass that test. The Madness Within. Willpower 4. Point you fail, shuffle the top card of the Tequila deck into your deck without looking at it. That's an unfriendly card. Let's see. So 3-on-1. Four. Yeah. 5-on-4. I am going to cancel that. I'm going to cancel that. Claypool's Furs goes away. 5-on-4. So because the Ancient One's here, that is a -3. So I do fail by 2. So I have to shuffle 2 Tequila into my deck. Alright. Is what it is. I'm thinking about just moving and letting the Madness defeat the Med Student and playing Protecting the Anernic to draw 3 cards. I'm also cognizant of the fact that it is a commit, and there are, as we've just seen, willpower things. So maybe I don't do that. But I might just move anyway, take the hit, get to this Mist Pylon. Play the Stray Cat. See what's at the Mist Pylon. Yeah, I'm going to move and take this hit. We spend the clue. 4 Shroud. 2 clues / health. And this is the one where the seal, I now get +1 to my skills when at a Mist Pylon. Hey, Charlie's starting to have what looks like an actual stat line. But it is harder to beat. If I get a clue, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to play the Stray Cat. I'm going to investigate. 7, 8 against 4. -4, but we still pass. We get a clue. I'm not going to cash that in. I'm going to keep this actual clue. And I think I'm strongly thinking of moving on, Because if I can get to all the missed pylons and plunk down all the seals, then it is much easier to deal with them. Especially the one that'll reduce Shroud. And it also means I will be an extra location away from the Nameless Madness. So I won't have to keep evading it every round. If I can get away from it. So yes, I'm going to move on. I'm going to spend this clue. And I'm going to open this missed pylon. 3 Shroud, 2 clues. Now, when I plunk this seal here, whenever I would take damage or horror while at a missed pylon, I can cancel one of it. That's good. I like that defense. Okay. Fine. We're good. Enemy. This guy just sits here. These don't move yet. Upkeep. Another med student. Okay. Mythos. Nameless Madness spawns. Not with me, because I'm 2 away from them. One does spawn coming towards me. We're going to put it here. Encounter card. Distant Voices cannot play assets or events this round. I think that's fine. All right. What do we want to do? Can I crumble this? If I attack, use Michael Lee, do an extra damage. I'd be swinging 3 against 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can do that. Yes. So we're going to attack. We're going to exhaust Michael Lee and spend an evidence so that we do an extra damage. We're testing 3 against 3. 4, 5. Six. I'm thinking about picking up a clue before I leave. Yeah, but first we'll attack this. So what was I at? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's fine. 7 on 3. Again, -4. I'm going up to 4 on these tests because these guys are real sticky. But I hit. And with Michael Lee, we did an extra damage. So we did 2 damage. This one's crumbled. Now I'm going to try to get a clue. Because of the boosts, I am testing 4 on 3, 6 on 3, and I'm going to commit this scrying mirror. Be 7 on 3. -2 is a pass, we get a clue. And we get an evidence back on Michael Lee. We can commit, we just can't play assets or events. We're going to move to here. 3 Shroud, 1 clue. It's another vaulted corridor. So you can warp from here to here and vice versa. And I'm going to move again. I'm going to spend my clue to enter this missed pylon. 1 Shroud, 4 clues. This is the seal. Now, whenever I do damage to a missed pylon, I deal an extra damage, which is very nice. Okay. Good. Good. No enemies do anything. Okay. Good. Upkeep. I had to discard an asset. Well, this is what protecting the Anirnik is for. We're going to discard... No, I can't. Because this goes away at the end of the round. That hasn't happened yet. I cannot end Nirnik. Fine. Because the stray cat is a way to automatically evade, like, another one of these, or maybe this one when I get back to it, I'm going to hang on to the stray cat. I will discard the med student. Okay. This goes away. Now Mythos. Now this discards. We get another Nameless Madness. So let's see. I'm 3 away from here. 3 away from here. So it's got to spread from where they are. Let's think about where to put it. And I think the answer is... I'm going to have it spread from here to here. Yes. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Encounter card. Ancient Evils. Okay. So it immediately spreads again. We'll have it spread... Oh, not all of them. We'll have it spread up this time to here. Can I bring this down and move on? Hopefully. So it's Shroud 1. Fight 1. Two attacks will do it. An attack, a clue will do it. I do need to get a clue and keep it in order to move on to the next. Before anything else, we're going to use my special action to play this med student and heal myself. I don't need to use Michael Lee's bonus damage because that will do 3 damage. That's not helpful. I need 4. So first, we're going to investigate. We're testing 4 against... let's think it through. I have 4 book, 3 fist. I have way more book commits, so I think it's all going to be investigates. Can I investigate this 3 times successfully? Only Shroud 1. So 4... the Michael Lee one will be a 7. It'll be 6. Yeah, I absolutely can. Investigate, 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 and then move. That's the way to do it. All right. We're going to investigate. We'll exhaust Leo DeLuca. We're testing 6 against 1. That is a pass. We get a clue. That's one I'm going to keep. Going to investigate again. Yeah, we'll do... think it tremendously matters. I mean, we'll do the auxiliaries. 5, 6. So we're testing 6 on 1. Elder Sign. We get to ready. I guess we'll ready Leo DeLuca. But this one, we are going to cash in to do damage. And because of this seal effect, it deals 2 damage. We're going to investigate again. With Leo DeLuca. 6 on 1. That's a frost. So total -5. Good thing we were up by 5. We still nailed it. I don't know what just happened there. Hold on. I have no idea where these clues came from that suddenly flew into my hand. Okay, whatever. But the point is, we get a clue, we cash it in, do another 2 damage. This one is crumbled. And then finally we move and spend a clue, go up to this last mist pylon. 5 shroud, 1 clue. We place this last seal, and now all the mist pylons have shroud reduced by 2. Okay. So this is done. This is done. Now all the seals are placed, so all the bonuses are active. I need to bring this one down, come back and do this one, and finally end with this one. That is the plan. All right, good. No enemies that do anything. We upkeep into a gang up. Okay. Mythos. We spawn... What am I doing? We spawn a Nameless Madness. We are still 2 away from all of the relevant Nameless Madnesses. So we don't catch me right away. We're going to spawn one here. Coming from here to here. Going around the outside. Encounter card. The Madness Within. Willpower 4. Really is pummeling me with the Tekeleles. What am I doing this round? An investigate here. A move here. And investigate here. Or an attack. And then honestly, maybe getting Takata's resources. So, I'm thinking about how much I can commit to this. I'm going to be testing, let's see, 7 on 3 for this one. And that'll be 6 on 2. Okay. Yeah, so we're... Oh, yeah, we have the boosts. So, 4 on 4, 5 on 4. I can use one of these. 6 on 4. We fail by 2, so we shuffle 2 Tekeleles into our deck. 1, 2. And we've got 9 Tekeleles in this deck. Wild. All right, we're going to flip Leo Leluco over for no good reason. We're going to investigate. It's Shroud 3 because of the pylons. So we're at 4, 7 on 3. 0 is a pass. We are going to spin that clue to bring down the pylon. Technically 2 damage, but only 1 is needed. We are going to move back over to here where we were before. We're going to investigate again with Janae. So exhaust her. We're at 6 against 2 because the Shroud is reduced. Skull is -1 because the Ancient one is not here. So that's a pass. We're going to cash in the clue to do a damage, and we do 2 damage because of the seal over here. So all that's left now is this one. I am going to have to wade through Nameless Madnesses to get there. That's fine, but that's a struggle for next round. And honestly, I am going to use my last action to pull these resources off Takata. I get 4 because she's resolute. So that, if needed, I have a gang up ready to go. Okay. The enemies don't do anything. We upkeep the green soapstone. That is not super helpful right here. It might be helpful as a triple fist commit, actually. Okay. Nameless Madness, they have caught up, question mark, more that I've come back around to them, so now there is one with me. I gotta get here, I gotta turn this guy off, and a single fight or investigate will do it. Encounter card, Roots of the Earth. So I'm testing Agility 5. If I fail, I take 2 damage. 3 on 5. But if I fail, I only take 1 damage because of the seal effect of the Mist Pylon. I still would like to... Can I reasonably get enough? Yeah, I can. I got the Stray Cat, so I'll test 5 against 5. Well, let's think through my turn. An evade or fight to turn these off. Action 1. 2, move here. 3, move in. Throw my Stray Cat to evade this. 4, punch. because it'll only be Shroud 0, I don't need to exhaust anything for that. So the only other test of consequence will be this. And it also is fight 0 because of my seals. But I want to... Or evade 0. I would want, though, to over-succeed by 3. Oh, actually, I would need to over-succeed by more than that, wouldn't I? Because exhaust the... Oh, no. It would exhaust this one, then this one, then this one. Because there are no others that are 1 away from me. That's fine. And how would I best accomplish that? I'm doing all this to figure out how much I throw at this test. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. That seems fine. Okay. So, we'll exhaust Stray Cat, we'll exhaust Shanae. So we're testing 7 against 5. I'm going to throw one more. 8 against 5. Because I don't want to pull the tablet and get another Tekeli-Li. Draw a Tekeli-Li, I should say. 8 on 5. -1, we pass. Okay. Now we're going to evade? No. We're going to attack. We're going to fight the Nameless Madness. We're testing 3 against 0. 6, 7, 8 against 0. Yeah, because I don't need to commit anything else. We're 8 up. We pass by 8. We turn off all of them. That's pretty funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure. Big wallop by Charlie's team. Okay. We move here. We move again. This Unsealed Phantasm engages us. We discard the Stray Cat to automatically evade it because it is not elite. And then we attack this pylon. We are testing 3 against 0. That's a frost. That's -2. So we pass. We do 2 damage because the seal effect, it is now crumbled. All 5 mist pylons have been collapsed. The act does not advance, though, until the end of the round. So, all the enemies are turned off. We upkeep spare parts. Another big commit, frankly. That's fine. This guy technically re-engages us. All of the Nameless Madness is ready. But now, we advance the act. A bunch of stuff happens. First of all, we put all but 3 of the Nameless Madnesses back in their little pile. We lose all our clues. We didn't have any to lose. All locations go away except the gate. Investigators and Nameless Madness are not defeated. All other cards are discarded. So that includes this Unsealed Phantasm. Put myself over here. We'll put the 3 remaining on the board Nameless Madnesses over here. And all of this goes away. That includes all the seals. So I no longer have the boosts from the seals. So my stats go back down. But importantly, maybe, now that we're no longer with seals or at Miss Pylons, the cultists go back to just being -1s. They're no longer frosts. Okay, good. And now the Titanic ramp comes into play. So the gate... Oh, I got rid of the gate, didn't I? Hold on. Oh, my goodness. There it go. Technically difficult. Gate. Gate. Come on. What? There we go. Oh my goodness. All right. Gate of Equa. We can't go their side. We shuffle up the Titanic ramps. We lay them out. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. The hidden tunnel is at the top. Charlie is at the leftmost Titanic ramp. These 3 nameless madnesses are there with him. The act and agenda go away. They are replaced with the final mirage, the Nameless Madness game's Hunter. When Doom is placed, spawn a Nameless Madness at the leftmost investigator's location. Objective, run. Okay, here we go. First, we spawn a 4th Nameless Madness. We are going to need a big hit to get past all these bozos. We're at the 4 Shroud, 1 Clue. To leave the ramp, test Agility 1. If I fail to cancel the effects of the move, I can spend a clue to automatically succeed. All the Titanic ramps are like that. The only difference is in the Shroud and the Agility test. The lower the Shroud, the higher the Agility test. This is the highest Shroud and lowest test. And they all have 1 clue. And we draw an encounter card, which is a Primordial Evil. So we've got a lot of evading to do. I do have a gang up. I only have 3 colors in play. So it will be +3 fist and deal 4 damage. Which would let me pump out a 5 combat hit to try to exhaust these Nameless Madnesses. I've got these commits. But I need to do a lot, don't I? It's a little tricky. This does 2 damage in a horror. All right, so I got 4 actions. Let's think this through. If I do gang up, hopefully that turns off most, if not all of these. And I could commit the soapstone. So I'd be swinging 8 against 1. So even if I pull a -4, I would still exhaust 3 of them. Then I could evade this. I'd be testing 2 on 1. 4, 5 on 1. Then I could try to move 2, 4, 5 on 1. So I can get away from the bulk of the stuff. And then up there, I don't know. Well, we'll see what's up there. All right, but I do think that this is the play. We're going to spend 3, like gang up. We're going to attack the Nameless Madnesses. We're going to commit the soapstone. So we are swinging 8 against 1. Skull is -3. We were up by 7. We passed by 4. So all 4 of them are exhausted. Good. Now we're going to evade the Primordial Evil. We're at 2 against 1. 4. 5 against 1. -3 is the pass. This guy is evaded. Now we're going to move. We're going to attempt the agility test. 2, 4, 5 against 1. -2 is a pass. We scoot up here. 2 Shroud, 1 Clue. The agility test is 3. Yeah, and here we're going to investigate. With Leo DeLuca, we're testing 5 on 2. And we auto-fail. Look, if I was going to auto-fail any of these tests, that was the one to auto-fail. All right, the enemies are all exhausted. We upkeep. A guard dog, okay. Whoops. These already. I don't want this death ball to catch up to me. Another Nameless Madness spawns with me. I guess I'll tack this Primordial Evil onto the end. And my encounter card is Nebulous Miasma. I don't want to end my turn at this location. Believe me, I don't want to end my turn at this location. Agility 3. I could just move. Let the Nameless Madness hit me for 1 and 1. Defeat the med student. And use Protecting the Inernic. I think that's the play. I will need to juice my agility to pass the Agility 3 test. Which I can do. So, I actually have to do the test first before I take the Attack of Opportunity. Because attacks of opportunity happen after all costs are paid. And this test is an additional cost. That means I can exhaust the med student as part of taking the test. So we're going to try to move. Testing 2 against 3, 3 against 3, 5 against 3. Yeah, 6, 7 against 3. Now the Nameless Madness hits, does a damage and a horror, which will defeat the med student. I will spend 1 to play Protecting the Inernic to draw 3 cards. Of course, this is not helpful at all. I take 2 horror from 2 Kaylee Lees, and now I've got another Leo DeLuca. I can't play, but whatever. It's fine. It'll be fine. Now I take the test. 7 on 3. And -4, I have passed. I think the fact that the med student died mid-test does not change the fact that I still get this +1. Like, she wasn't committing a matching skill icon. If rules-wise that isn't something that could be done, well, I mean, that Protecting the Inernic sure didn't help me, so I could have just taken the damage and a horror. But I think that's how that works. The point is, I pass the test, and I move up here. 1 Shroud, Agility 4. I pass the test. All right, well, this is the place where we investigate. Do I play the guard dog? Can I just leave? If I get this clue, move. No, probably not. No, I don't think I have enough. So I am going to play the guard dog. So I have another commit. This is going to hunt because I just walked away from it, which is fine. We're now going to try to get this clue. So we're testing 3, 6 against 1. -4. Man, all these tests have been -4, but I still pass. I get this clue. And now I move, and I spend the clue to automatically succeed on the test. We are up to here. 3 Shroud, Agility 2. We just have 1 more to go. Okay, all right, we're almost there. Enemies. All these guys hunt. This one moves up here. This death ball moves up to here. But I'm just ahead of them. We upkeep into Blur. A little late, but that's fine. Mythos. A Nameless Madness spawns here. My encounter card is a Glimpse the Unspeakable. This should have been discarded. So I draw to Kaylee Lee, and then it shuffles into my deck. It is lose 2 resources. That's fine. Do I just move? I just need to pass this agility test and we're done. I think that's what we do. Do I bother to evade? No? No, I don't think I do. So I'm going to move. It hits me for a damage and a horror. That's fine. I'm now testing 2 against 2. 4, 5. 6. Yeah, 6 against 2. Hero is a pass. We move on up. And if each undefeated investigator is at the hidden tunnel, we advance. We have cleared the ramp. Nameless reckoning. You emerge from the tunnel, daylight blinding you as the sun peeks out from behind the jagged mountaintops in the distance. The entity rushes towards the exit. I prepare myself at the end, the wall of mist, miasma, and madness, feeling much like an oncoming train. All 5 mist pylons were collapsed, and Dr. Kensler has a plan. Resolution 1. We did it! Let's read what we did. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for sticking it out. I've never read this, so here we go. Suddenly, there's blast of warm air and a sound like a tremendous exhalation. The air shimmers with the distortion of a mirage, and you watch in shock as the rushing miasma suddenly recoils. It collapses upon itself and retreats back into the mountainside just as the avalanche begins. Bright blue cracks spread rapidly along the walls. Without the pylons, the integrity of not just the facility within the mountain, but the entire city is compromised. The icy floor cracks open. The cyclopean architecture of the alien city begins to sink into the snow. Then you hear it, the roaring engine of an airplane overhead. The last of Takata's 3 planes soars over the city, and familiar shouts echo throughout the ancient ruinous streets. There they are, by that tunnel, quickly! 2 sledges slide into view, pulled by the remainder of the dogs Elia left at the barrier camp, and manned by several members of the crew of the Theodosia. You cannot hold back your surprise or joy at the sight. They motion frantically for you to join them. Their gaze is fixed on the collapsing mountain. At the last possible second, you hear another voice emanating from within the tunnel. Wait! Dr. Kensler emerges from the darkness, waving and hollering. Wait for me! She hops onto the sledge, and together you race off into the foothills as the city collapses into the ice behind you. One of the crewmates explains that they fixed up the last of the airplanes and decided to use it to look for you, even knowing the risks. When we spotted you entering that huge cavern without most of your gear, we thought you might need a rescue. Didn't expect that to be quite this literal, he says. You tell him his timing couldn't be more perfect. The moment you make it back to the ice shelf, Dr. Kensler instructs the crew to prepare for departure. You barely even break down the barrier camp. Doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is getting out of this place with your lives intact, and with all the evidence you have found, of course. But still you have questions. Once safely aboard the Theodosia, you confront Dr. Kensler and ask her what she did back in the facility. The entity was chasing you, and then suddenly, I told you, it is not a living creature, she explains. As such, it cannot be killed, at least not by our standards. But it has some semblance of sentience, yes? It knows our desires, our hopes, our fears. You note aloud Dr. Kensler is using the present tense. Uh-oh. She clenches her jaw. The slightest hint of distortion wavers in the air around her. I made a deal. It was the only way. Ah, that's cool. The nameless madness is contained safely within its host for now. Cross off Dr. Kensler's name, in its place write the entity. Oh, mechanically that means she doesn't get the quote-unquote happy ending. Well, not quote-unquote, it is a happy ending with Dr. Sinha. Nope, no romance. She's sharing her existence with the entity. The survivors. Who survived? Well, I guess technically not Dr. Kensler. Kind of. Danforth, Cookie, Dr. Sinha, and Best Girl Takata survived. We earn experience. There was nothing in the victory display. We earn 10 bonus experience, and we win the campaign. We don't even get any trauma. But what we do leave with is 8 Tekeli Lees. Yeah, this deck is not exactly usable going forward. But there we go. We won the campaign. Rold and Avery are both dead. Dr. Sin is alive, but Dr. Kensler is occupied. Danforth's alive, but Dyer is dead. Elia is very much dead. Takata and Cookie, they both survived. To your surprise, you spot both Takata and Cookie in the workshop below deck. Cookie has taken apart his revolver and is cleaning each piece individually. While Takata goes through the airplane parts the crew managed to break down during your hasty escape. You watch in secret for a short while as the two banter. Hand me that cloth, will you? I'm not your employee, Cookie. Come on, Rocco, it's right there. Just grab it and fling it over here.
Yes, sir, do you wish for me to fetch you a spot of tea as well? Very funny. What the hell, you throw it all the way over there? Told me to fling it. To me, you blasted, to me! You smile to yourself as the back and forth continues. The unlikely duo seem more comfortable with one another than anybody else on the crew. Finally, a lull in the conversation gives you an opportunity to reveal yourself. They acknowledge your entrance with curt nods before going back to their work. You ask them what they intend to do when they get back to Arkham. Roko wants to... You tell him. Takata sighs and sits up, wiping sweat from her brow with the back of her gloved hand. I want to try to look for my father. I've asked Mr. Fredericks to join me. The two of them share a knowing glance. It's a long shot, I know. He likely crashed into the ocean many years ago. Even so, I need to know. I have his logs. We should be able to find evidence, something. And if not, Cookie adds, still better than sitting around, waiting to be sent on another fool's errand like this one. You nod and excuse yourself. As long as they have each other, you think the two of them will be all right. And you know what? I agree. We did it. Well, that was tremendous fun. Thank you so much to everyone in the Mythos Busters Discord. Everyone's setting this up, especially Daniel, Quick Learner. If you are part of the campaign play along or are watching this, you absolutely should. The recorded play sessions on Quick Learner's channel of him playing Marion Tavares from the Drowned City expansion and Pax Cecilia playing Susie, they're a blast. Absolutely incredible playthroughs. Highly recommended. Highly recommended for everyone else who is playing through these. Let me find. Bear with me one moment. Right. Head Librarian Chad on Discord is also playing a solo playthrough with a Comedy of Errors deck with Lola, with recorded podcast sessions. I'm just looking for the link of their podcast because I want to give it a shout out. And I'll eventually find it. Right, the Restricted Collection. At therestrictedcollection.podbean, podbean.com. You'll find their recorded sessions. Also, terrific playthrough. Arkham Librarian, I see you're enjoying their playthroughs, not recording theirs, posting summaries of Lucius and Zoe's adventures. Yes, 100%. I've been reading those. I'm reading all the adventures on the Mythos Busters Discord. I've been away from the community for a couple of years, but I'm just getting back into it, more into Arkham generally, and this was perfect to come back to. I plan to continue streaming recording. I have some ideas about sort of going back in time as a walk through memory lane of Arkham through the years and through the different taboo lists that have evolved over time and tackling achievements from past campaigns, as sort of a run-up to the new current environment once that finally comes into play. And I'll continue to stream and record those and post those for anybody interested. And absolutely, I'm looking forward to the next campaign play-along. Maybe I'll go back and revisit some of the campaign play-alongs I've missed. I missed the Carcosa one. I've always enjoyed Carcosa. It remains one of, if maybe still my favorite campaign. But this was a blast. I'm very happy with the Charlie deck. Would it work elsewhere? That's a good question. Charlie is, I think, uniquely situated to get a bit of an extra boost in Edge of the Earth because of the presence of the partners and the fact that they are allies, so they work with his ability to exhaust them and get extra bonus. Also, this particular deck, of course, it ran less economy than I otherwise would because I was using Takata for economy. Outside of Edge of the Earth and with a broader card pool, motivational speech, shoe-in to insert from the beginning, absolutely 100% for additional economy. I wouldn't have leaned into so many of the multi-class cards. I knew that this Jack of all trades extra action was going to be available.
which definitely helped to get those into play. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get to see the cards that I added, the lesson learned, or the on the trail. Lesson learned, of course, works very well here because of all the nameless madnesses. You can, if you're in a location with a nameless madness and a clue or clues, you can just leave, let the nameless madness hit you. It's massive, so it won't move with you. Play lesson learned, get the clues on your way out. It works with the mist pylons as well. You can walk out of a mist pylon you haven't yet crumbled, take the hit, get the clues, spend them right away to crumble the mist pylon on your way out. Sort of Kool-Aid Man in reverse. Didn't get a chance to do that, but the cards that we had in play, even with only like a third of the deck active, worked out very nicely. Leo DeLuca, still top tier ally for solo play, particular even after all these years. Michael Lee, fantastic. Nay Beauregard, fantastic. She single-handedly won me City of the Elder Things, despite an extremely slow start in that one. And even, the level 0 allies. And Guard Dog didn't get a chance to shine here, but like the Stray Cats, it was key. Turned off the one thing guarding the Mist Pylon when I needed it. Great value out of the med students. Parallel Fates 2, excellent. Again, I particularly like it for solo play to either set up your deck, or if you don't need it by the time you draw it, you can use it on the encounter deck. Claypool's Furs wound up canceling 3 cultists. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I would play a variant of this in another campaign, solo play or otherwise. Charlie's a lot of fun. I think that's it for me. Thank you, everybody who has watched or may watch in the future. Good luck with your own campaign play-alongs and your other Arkham efforts going forward. Until next time, take it easy, everyone.